So, if there ever needed to be a movie about anti-solicitation, this would be it. So please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, and here is my review for A24's newest film, The Heretic. We follow two young missionaries on their daily routine to go and spread the word.
Jesus, man.
But when they knock on the door of one of their appointments, not only do they meet a very charming man, he also seems to know a lot about religion also. But the charming yet mysterious man wants to conduct a religious experiment on these two young girls. And actor Hugh Grant plays our diabolical character, Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I had to use that clip. So when I first saw the trailer to this movie, I was actually very interested, well, because of...
Surreal but nice. What was I thinking?
I have not seen Hugh Grant in a genuine horror movie maybe since The Lair of the White Worm. The premise of Heretic seemed very interesting and definitely a lot better than this Heretic.
Okay.
Because The Exorcist 2 The Heretic is awful, but very hilarious. I really liked how the movie started, especially how we got to learn about our two main characters, how each of them have a different personality, and also how the townsfolk actually view these two people. We follow these two young girls and we get to see how they interact with each other and also how they feel about the church itself. And when they finally get to Mr. Reed's house, this is the part of the movie that actually blows me away for a few different reasons. When they start having the religious conversations, that part of the movie is very interesting to me because it's very involved, very in-depth, and they start talking about other religions that are very similar, and not to mention the hypocrisy between all the religions. That part was very interesting to me. We normally never get in-depth stuff like that in other religious horror movies. It's usually very much copied and pasted from producers or studios that never actually went to church.
Knowledge.
But what was even more surprising to me were the directors and the writers of this film were also the writers of the remake of the movie The Boogeyman. And some of you might remember how I felt about The Boogeyman.
Hated it.
Yeah, I won't get into that rant again, but I'll just say that was a wasted opportunity and just another soulless corporate horror remake. But Heretic, man, I was just really impressed, especially with the first half of the film because it's very dialogue heavy and it kind of feels more like a psychological horror film. What helps make the movie work is our two main characters, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton. And what I liked about our two main characters, yes, they're a little naive and they're vulnerable, but they're not stupid. They're not doing the typical stupid things that you would see in a lot of modern day horror films. I would say the last half of the movie feels like a completely different kind of horror movie. Might remind you of something like, maybe Barbarian or even something like Martyrs. And when I say parts of the movie remind me of Martyrs, I'm not talking about like the gory stuff. I'm talking more about like the underlying theme of that film. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the second half of the movie, but not as much as the first half. Listen, the movie was enjoyable and definitely a lot much better than the other Heretic movie that I've seen. And like I said, I'm still in shock that this movie was made by the same people that did this other piece of crap. And I can't say this enough, Hugh Grant is amazing in this movie and his performance alone is worth the price of a ticket. My rating for Heretic, definitely go see it on the big screen. I would say maybe a matinee, but it's definitely worth the watch and definitely worth it for all the good performances that you get in this film. Alright, so I thought my review was pretty honest, pretty fair. I didn't want to overhype the movie at all, because that is something that we just don't do on this page. Alright, did you see Heretic already on the big screen? What did you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think the performances were really good? Comment below and let me know. Hell, are you a fan of this Heretic right here? Comment below and let me know. Alright, so I'm Mike the Movie Misfit. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the movies.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.